really does it all. Makes that team go. Defense is, it's smart, crafty defense. They play hard, run to the football, they hit, opportunistic takeaways, got weapons on offense, lean on the run game, be a challenging special team. So, look, this is a top-tier opponent. So we're looking forward to it, and, there's no place you'd rather be than playing this type of football, this type of team in December. So we're looking forward to it. Questions?
Every more to the time of the game, just face disappointed. At this time right now, what are you hoping, what type of test do you hope you guys can get out of it? And just the overall mindset of the team this week.
Yeah, look, I think for us it's really, we talked about really sharpening the sword, more or less. There's things that, even last week, the last couple of weeks that we come out of these games and we can do better. We can be better in all areas. And it's really about the fundamentals, the details of what we do. And I think that's really the focus, and having the discipline to do those and hang with them. And it's why we're going to go out and practice today. It's why we're in pads, get back to what we do. And then ultimately, find a way to win the game. That's always going to be what it's about, is we got to find a way to win no matter what.
You said they lean on the run game. What have you seen this year from James Cook, and what challenges does he present?
It's a good runner, good runner. Joe Brady's done a good job with that offense. And I think the guy, he can run multiple schemes. He's kind of a slash runner, but yet he can run the gap schemes downhill. I think this offensive line's, it's a good unit, man. They play together. They're pretty physical, finish on blocks. Cromer's doing a hell of a job. I think he's a hell of a coach. And so, that takes a lot of stress off the rest of the team, takes a lot of stress off the quarterback, and allows him to really be the best version of himself. So, it goes without saying, we can't let them, start busting runs through there. We got to be good in the run game, and as much as we can, try to make them one-dimensional if possible.
In this game were, leading MVP candidates. I doubt it's either guy's focus, but it is a big-time award. What do you think a win, a good performance, those things do to help?
I don't know. Who votes on that? Got it. I don't know. So, and I guarantee you that's not golf's focus, is winning the MVP. That's icing on the cake. But I know for us, man, if you just focus on the win and what it's going to take to win this game, and whatever comes out of that, the individual accolades will follow. You'll turn around and look back and you realize, all right, this is what's transpired because we've won. So, I'm not worried about it. He's not worried about it. We just got to find a way to win.
Just to go back to Josh Allen, great escapability, great mobility. What is it about the way he plays the game that makes him so hard to bring down either in or outside the pocket?
Yeah, look, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's pretty explosive, and he's competitive. At the end of the day, he's got all these attributes, physical attributes, but then it's what he's got inside of him, man. He's the ultimate competitor, man. That's what separates him from a lot of guys, man. He's fearless, and it's why those guys, they play the way they do for him, because he just won't give it up. He's not going to give it up, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get the next first down or get the touchdown. And when they need him in crunch time, he's going to show up, and he won't give up, And I think that's what makes him who he is, his competitiveness.
Coach talks about the value of consistency. They're a team that's scored at least 30 points a game in the last 7, which is kind of remarkable in this league. I'm curious. You talked about the mindset of game planning going into last week and maybe need a little bit more from your offense. Do you go into this one expecting to, need more from your offense to maybe need to score 30 in this one?
Yeah, certainly we need offensive output. That goes without saying. This team, even when you play good, it's going to be hard to completely shut this team down, shut this offense down. But yet, there again, there's the guys that we do have that have only been here for a short period of time, I expect them to be better than even last week, right? And I made the point, like all these guys are football players. It's not like, you know, these guys can't play football that are in here. So I expect us to be better in that area. We'll have a good game plan. And I see us playing better defensively. I think we're going to show up. We're going to do some things. Offense has got to, you know, certainly score points, preferably touchdowns, not field goals. And then we need something out of our teams. You know, our special teams unit needs to show up for us. And field position will be huge in this game.
The half situation was so important for you. You talked about that on the radio. I mean,
The what was?
And the half situational football,
Yeah.
not giving
Yeah.
everybody no shot. I think Allen's probably maybe the best in the league in capitalizing with almost no time. Is that another point about Sweet just keeping it out of his hands at the end of halves?
Yeah, certainly as much as you can possess the ball, that's going to help. I mean, because like we say, this guy is, you know, he makes everything go. And certainly if you can keep him off the field, that's always going to help. You know, and then you don't need to worry about anything. But, you know, look, our defense is looking forward to this, you know, and this is one of those matchups you really look forward to playing. I love the fact that I know we can cover. The guys that we got, man, pretty disciplined group up front, and we'll see how these injuries go for us. You know, we may have some guys back, we may not. But the guys we do have will do what we're asking them to do, and they'll go all out. And if we can, you know, limit this run game, then that gives us a pretty good chance.
Dan, look at the.
I'll come to you next.
Just with the offense, with Ben, the way he calls plays, we've seen a lot of different, you know, crazy stuff, rails, whatever. Are there any restrictions you place on him? Does he ever come to you with something that's like too far, or do you guys talk about it, or you just sit back and admire whatever he's coming
No, we always talk about it, and I can't, off the top of my head, think of anything that I've turned down. You know, so no, I'm pretty open. So wherever he can go with it, let's go.
Just a follow-up on that one, the touchdown to Patrick with St. Brown lining up in the backfield. Mm-hmm. Is that one of the better designed goal line type plays you've seen? Just the confusion that it created and how
it's a good play. Look, there's a lot of teams that kind of do those type of things, and we've done that before. You know, you're just trying to see if you can create a little confusion and see if you can get somebody to pop. And so the design is great, and you know the execution was great, and so that from that standpoint, absolutely. But I think, you know, it's not as easy as you think it is for the quarterback. You know, unless somebody pops wide open, like, man, you got to, man, are you going to Saint? Are you going to come back inside to TP? You know, was he open? Was he not? Do I trust that? You know, so man, the processing speed you have to have at quarterback really makes it go. The design is great, but it also says our quarterback can process it fast enough to see it, you know, and so the combination of those make it a really good play.
The leadership this franchise has, from Sheila at the top to what you get in the locker room with your staff, how much of a factor is that in the success that this team has had?
It's a huge factor. You know, in my opinion, without having the right ownership, it's hard to get to a point where you can have success and sustain it. I think it's very hard. So we have the right ownership, and Sheila's outstanding, man. She gives us everything we need. She is very supportive, and you know, she speaks her mind. So with me, and I appreciate that. So it's huge, you know. And our guys have ownership in this team. They have buy-in. They know it's their team, and we try to honor that. I mean, we do, and our team speaks volumes. You know, our core's got something. You know, we listen, and because that's the way it should be. And, you know, for the most part, man, the core of the herd, right? It's you fall in line or it doesn't work out. So we got a good group.
Yeah, for the most part, the teams that are chasing you are still hot on your guys' tails. Minnesota, Philadelphia. I know Buffalo's in the other conference, but still best. Does that keep an edge for you guys? You don't have like a 4-game lead in the division. You don't have the number 1 seed wrapped up. Does that give you guys, keep an edge?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great for us. I think, I think it does. It keeps you sharp. I think, I've mentioned this before. I think we do well with pressure, and it's the right kind of friction and stress that we need, and it's motivating. And so, I love it. I think it's great. And look, nobody's going to lose. Nobody's losing. So we're going, man.
You were just talking about listening, the sort of collaborative culture. Where does that come from with you? Is that when you were a kid? Is that your family, coaches along the way?
I think it's all encompassing. Team sports was always a big part of my family. And then, certainly, my dad, I've said this before, he's a Marine, and so just the teamwork was always preached, and, not complaining, no excuses, do what you're told to do, give it everything you got. If you're going to do something, then give your all on it. Don't half-ass anything. All these things. And then, like I say, I had an uncle that was a high school coach for a number of years, cousins that played, the whole deal. So sports, teamwork, all of it, I think is all encompassing. Then I've been fortunate to be around some really, really good coaches, really good coaches in my time. R.C. Slocum, Texas A&M, I talked about Bill Parcells, Sean Payton, Mike Sherman. I mean, Mike Martz, all these guys that you can go through that know how to win and can teach you how to win. And so I think, but you also, because when you're around it enough, I've been in this league a long time as a player and a coach, and so I've been in different organizations, and you play against different ones, and you kind of see the dynamic of places, and we've got the right recipe. We do, and I would love to know who's got better than us, So, and that's a recipe to win with.